Shall we do the introduction? Okay, we quickly go to that. The introduction in the okay, the preface is also very nice. Really, I mean, it's all written by Prabhupada. Preface. There is no difference. Oh, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jayadvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jayadvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jayadvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानजानशालाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताक स्वामिनित्य नाम्ने नमः आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनित्य नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती वे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We're starting with the preface. There is no difference between the teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and the teachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and the teachings of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are practical demonstrations of Lord Krishna's teachings. Lord Krishna's ultimate instruction in Bhagavad Gita is that everyone should surrender unto him, Lord Krishna. Krishna promises to take immediate charge of such a surrendered soul. The Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is already in charge of the maintenance of this creation by virtue of his plenary expansion, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. But this maintenance is not direct. However, when the Lord says that he takes charge of his pure devotee, he actually takes direct charge. A pure devotee is a soul who is forever surrendered to the Lord, just as a child is surrendered to his parents or an animal to its master. In the surrendering process, one should 1. Accept things favorable for discharging devotional service, 2. Reject things unfavorable, 3. Believe firmly in the Lord's protection, 4. Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord, 5. Have no interest separate from the interests of the Lord, and 6. Always feel oneself meek and humble. So, here it's very, very clearly and precisely given the 6 uh, parts of surrender. Accept things that are favorable, reject things which are unfavorable to performing a Krishna consciousness. Third, to have complete faith that the Lord will always protect me. And 4, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. 5, have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord. And 6, always feel oneself meek and humble. So it is very progressive, as you can see. First, we accept things which are favorable. That means we start chanting, reading, doing devotional service. And by doing that, we are able to give up the anarthas. You know, if you don't mind, right? Yeah. And 2, because of doing devotional service, we are able to give up the anarthas, reject things which are unfavorable to devotional service. And because now we are pleasing the Supreme Lord, then we feel confident that Krishna will always protect me because I am pleasing him. I'm come under his shelter. And so then believe firmly in the Lord's protection, then feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord, because we know that devotionals, for everything, because of doing devotional service, we get the intelligence to understand that everything, is we are getting everything only by the mercy of the Lord. Before doing devotional service, we are thinking that I am only doing so many things, or it's because of my karma, and or we think of material things we are dependent on, a good job, good family, and friends, and other, contacts and high places, or my bank balance. We are dependent on so many things. But as we do devotional service, we understand that Krishna is the cause of all causes, and without him nothing moves. And so we feel exclusively dependent on Krishna and not on all these external things. That may be there externally also, but we know that those things are there only because of Krishna's mercy. So we are exclusively dependent on Krishna's mercy. And initially, these are all for ourselves only. We, oh, Krishna, take care of this and take care of that, and my devotional service. But as we progress, then we realize that everything I'm thinking for myself, I have to see what is Krishna's interest. What does Krishna want from me? Not that always I'm saying, oh, Krishna, do this for me, do that for me. We're always concerned about ourselves. So the higher level of surrender is that I will do what you want. So have no interest. If Krishna doesn't want, okay, I also don't want. If Krishna is okay with it, then I'll have it. That is, have no interest separate from the interest of Krishna doesn't want, but still I'll do it. No, that is not surrender. And always feel oneself meek and humble, because by doing all these things, by having no interest separate from the Lord, that means we're acting as his servant. And as we act more and more as a servant, then what happens? We understand I'm actually is eternally a servant only. I don't have any other identity. So automatically we become very meek and humble. So it's a very progressive thing of surrender. And these are the six limbs of surrender that Krishna, um, and so then to such a devotee, Krishna takes direct charge. A pure devotee is a soul who is forever surrendered to the Lord, just as a child is surrendered to his parents, or an animal to its master, a helpless child, right? An infant, totally under the parents' care, completely dependent. And the more, because it is so dependent in that stage, actually the parents completely take care of the child. They even forego their own sleep, eating, everything, and take care of their child. Of course, I mean, in material life, Krishna doesn't, Krishna can take care perfectly. He is not constrained by anything. But the level of care that goes on, when the child becomes a little older and can take care of himself, parents don't give that much care. But the child who is very dependent on the parents are fully caring. So we don't grow up at any time and say, now I don't need Krishna. We're eternally like children dependent on Krishna. The Lord demands that one surrender unto him for following these six guidelines. But the unintelligent so-called scholars of the world misunderstand these demands and urge the general mass of people to reject them. At the conclusion of the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna directly says, engage your mind always in thinking of me, offer obeisances and worship me, being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Bhagavad Gita 9.34. However, the scholarly demons misguide the masses of people by directing them to the impersonal, unmanifest, eternal, unborn truth rather than the personality of Godhead. The impersonalist Mayavadi philosophers do not accept that the ultimate aspect of the absolute truth is the supreme personality of Godhead. If one desires to understand the sun as it is, one must first face the sunshine, then the sun globe, and after entering into the sun globe, come face to face with the predominating deity of the sun. Due to a poor fund of knowledge, the Mayavadi philosophers cannot go beyond the Brahman effulgence, which may be compared to the sunshine. The Upanishads confirm that one has to penetrate the dazzling effulgence of Brahman before one can see the real face of the personality of Godhead. That's why in the Upanishad also there is a verse in which um, the it is a prayer of a devotee to the Lord that please remove this glaring effulgence and please let me see the person behind this light. So that is what, even when the devotee, when he crosses this material world, first thing is the Brahma Jyoti. And devotee is not satisfied by just, oh, I came out of this material world, no more suffering. He's not satisfied with that. He is looking for Krishna. And he is not satisfied just that, oh, there is Brahman. And I want to just feel that, okay, now I'm Brahman. I'm not this body anymore. He is looking, please, Krishna, take away that Brahman effulgence and show me the person behind that. This light is coming from you. Lord Chaitanya therefore teaches direct worship of Lord Krishna, who appeared as the foster child of the king of Braja. He also suggests that the place known as Vrindavana is as good as Lord Krishna because there's no difference between the name, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia of Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna himself. That is the absolute nature of the absolute truth. That's why devotees are very excited to go to Vrindavana because they feel the closeness to Krishna over there. Because Vrindavana is non-different from Krishna. Lord Chaitanya also recommended so, and we are advised to worship Krishna directly, not the impersonal Jyoti and all that. Lord Chaitanya also recommended that the highest mode of worship in the highest perfectional stage is the method practiced by the damsels of Braja. These damsels, gopis or cowherd girls, simply loved Krishna without a motive for material or spiritual gain. Chaitanya also recommended Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless narration of transcendental knowledge, and he pointed out that the highest goal in human life is to develop unalloyed love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he only established, Lord Chaitanya, that the highest form of worship is the Gopi Bhav of complete surrender to Krishna, topmost love. So that is very special. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended these. That is why he gave the mantra also, which is chanted by the gopis. Lord Chaitanya's teachings are identical to those given by Lord Kapila, original propounder of Sankhya Yoga, the Sankhya system of philosophy. This authorized system of yoga recommends meditation on the transcendental form of the Lord. There is no question of meditating on something void or impersonal. One can meditate on the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu, even without practicing, involved sitting postures. Such meditation is called perfect samadhi. This perfect samadhi is verified at the end of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says, and of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. Bhagavad Gita 6.47. So Prabhupada is establishing the fact that there is no, whatever instructions are given in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach us and show us how to follow that. Lord Chaitanya instructed the mass of people in Sankhya philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, which maintains that the Supreme Lord is simultaneously one with and different from his creation. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu really took it to the highest perfection of teaching what exactly is the truth. Because we have these different sampradayas. We have Madhva Sampradaya, which first came up with Dvaita. Dvaita means there is two. There is the Supreme Lord and the living entity. Living entity is not God. There is one more person, there is God. So Dvaita. And then the Advaitavadis, Advaita, they added to Dvaita because, it's like dharma. You add to it, it becomes adharma. That means no dharma in it. So Advaita means it is not two, it is only one. And we know that their philosophy is that everything, they say that there is only reality is Brahman, that light. And whatever other than Brahman is all not real, fake. So, this what we are seeing now is simply one imagination. It's not reality. We are in illusion. And when we come out of the illusion through knowledge, then we will understand that we are Brahman. We are all one and we are Brahman. So, according to them, this is everything is illusion, nothing is a reality. Now, next, apart from Advaita means there is oneness, only oneness. There is nothing, only Brahma Jyoti. Vishishta Advaita means they are saying that, okay, there is one, everything is one, but Vishishta Advaita, that means there is more. In that one comprises, just like in the body, we have, like, say, we have the body and the mind and the intelligence. No, just see with the body and soul itself. Now, we are dealing with soul to soul, but when I say that somebody is coming, Chitra is coming, means I mean Chitra is coming, her body is coming, her soul is also coming. Not that Chitra, the soul only is coming. So, in a similar way, when you say something is one, the parts of that one also, so it is Vishishta. That person is only one, but he is made up of many parts. So, that is what Vishishta Advaita is, qualified oneness. That means God is one, but he is made up of that Parabrahman and then the Jivatma and material world, which is Jada. Chetan is living entity and Supreme Chetan is Supreme Lord. All three together makes one, Vishishta Advaita. Now, that also doesn't, it's only talking about differences because Dvaita started with there is a difference, okay? There are two people and Atma and Paramatma are not equal, they are different. And Advaita says, no, they are one. There is no difference. And Vishishta Advaita says that there is, it is all one. They are different also. That is, they also, Vishishta Advaita philosophy also says that there is Krishna, there is Jiva, and there is material energy. So they are all different. They are not, they are one at the same time different. But they have not said it so clearly that they are same as well as different. They just say that qualified oneness. And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it very, very clear, perfect way, such a nice way he has explained it that yes, about the Supreme Lord and his external energy, internal energy, and how the jiva belongs to the internal energy, but external energy, because of that, he's got this material body. And in the liberated stage, we are equal to Krishna in quality. He's just described it. I mean, very, very complete knowledge. Equal in quality, but not in quantity. And what is this Maya? Maya is Krishna's only illusory potency. And she is controlling us, and she is indirectly, I mean, she is only the secondary controller. Krishna is controlling us Maya is also a reality. She's eternal, but Krishna's external energy. Perfect, complete, very clear. Okay, so this is the knowledge that Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained. Philosophy of Achintya, because those other philosophies talked only about the Veda, the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma. But he is also talking about the Abeda. What is also same is equal in quality. That is, he has added and made it complete, which maintains that the Supreme Lord is simultaneously one with and different from his creation. Lord Chaitanya taught this philosophy through the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. He taught that the holy name of the Lord is a sound incarnation of the Lord, and that since the Lord is the absolute whole, there is no difference between his holy name and his transcendental form. Everything is coming from him only. So, how it can be different? Everything, his name, the sound vibration, also coming from Krishna. So, it is non different from Krishna. That's why this chanting loudly is very, very important. I don't know why in some of the traditions they'll say, sit and write Ram, 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 Ram. I mean, the time you take in sitting and writing Ram, Ram, Ram or Sri Ram Jayam, you might as well open your mouth and say, then, you hear writing, you can sit and you can wander your mind and just write. So the sound vibration, that is what the holy name of the Lord so clearly, I mean, you can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who has explained everything so nicely, like a science, very, very clear, very crisp. We cannot mistake at all. And very simple that everybody can understand. And since the Lord is the absolute whole, there is no difference between his holy name and his transcendental form. Thus, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can directly associate with the Supreme Lord by sound vibration. As one practices this sound vibration, he passes through three stages of development: the offensive stage, the clearing stage, and the transcendental stage. In the offensive stage, one may desire all kinds of material happiness. But in the second stage, one becomes clear of all material contamination. When one is situated on the transcendental stage, he attains the most coveted position, the stage of loving God. Lord Chaitanya taught that this is the highest stage of perfection for human beings, to love God. In the first stage, we are chanting, but so many thoughts come, so many desires, and if those desires are not fulfilled, then we feel very morose. We don't feel like chanting. So that is the offensive stage. Or while chanting also, we are thinking of something else and chanting. And clearing stage is when we are struggling to get out of that material, contaminations. And actually, the best way to come out, of this attachment to clearing stage is we should say that I want to serve Krishna, because the other material energy is sucking us like a vacuum cleaner. Come, come. And to resist her is very difficult. But on the other hand, the opposite thing, opposite current is what? I want to serve Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, I want service, I want service. We have to cry to Krishna. Then we can go on the opposite clearing stage where we get cleared of all material contamination. That is just wanting to enjoy life with our senses and mind in whatever way, subtle or gross, even just false ego, even great, great sages. They may not be doing any sense gratification physically or mentally, they're sitting alone. A false ego is there. I'm very great. I'm not fully, I mean, in the sense that I have so much knowledge, I have intelligence, and I can decide. That is also sense gratification. So when so by chanting Hare Krishna, when one situated on the transcendental stage, he attains the most coveted position, the stage of loving God. So, this nobody has taught us how to love God. Okay, there is devotional service and all that. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went beyond all that. He's actually practically gave us a method, fast method, and he showed us also and the extent of love for God and how to develop the mood of the gopis. Who has taught all that? Lord Chaitanya taught that this is the highest stage of perfection for human beings. Yoga practice is essentially meant for controlling the senses. The central controlling factor of all the senses is the mind. Therefore, one first has to practice controlling the mind by engaging it in Krishna consciousness. The gross activities of the mind are expressed through the external senses, either for acquiring of knowledge or the functioning of the senses in accordance to the will. So, this is what the mind is contemplating. Either with the senses, I engage in sense gratification, or that I acquire knowledge. This is all the mind's activity. It is desiring, and so we engage in the activity. Everything starts with the mind, thinking, feeling, willing, right? Uh, the first thing is you start thinking about it, then you develop a desire for it, and then you have to have it. So everything starts from the mind. The subtle activities of the mind are thinking, feeling, and willing. In accordance to one's consciousness, the individual is either polluted or clear. If one's mind is fixed on Krishna, his name, quality, form, pastimes, entourage, and paraphernalia, all one's activities um, both subtle and gross become favorable. The Bhagavad Gita's uh, process of purifying consciousness is the process of fixing one's mind on Krishna by talking of his transcendental past activities, cleansing his temple, going to his temple, seeing the beautiful transcendental form of the Lord nicely decorated, hearing his transcendental glories, tasting food offered to him, associating with his devotees, smelling the flowers and tulsi leaves offered him, engaging in activities for the Lord's interest, etc. No one can bring the activities of the mind and senses to a stop, but one can purify these activities through a change in consciousness. That's why in the 10th Bhagavad Gita, the Chaturshloki, the 10th chapter 8 to 11, is talking about this only. Mat chitta mat gata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, associating with devotees, talking about him. Mat chitta, always thinking of him. Mat gata prana, bodhayanta parasparam. So talking with each other about Krishna. And katayantascha mam nityam, every day discussing about Krishna. Nitya can also mean eternally, always, always actually. Nityam, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So they satisfy each other by, discussing about Krishna. And that is the way to change the consciousness. That's why Prabhupada built all the temples. Otherwise, he could have just written books and distribute. Everybody just read and do it in your house. But that's not enough. We also need association to discuss about Krishna. Then only we feel happy, right? So much, everybody has to so much to talk about Krishna, their own experiences, their understanding, and then also share if they have any doubts and how to overcome the problems. So many things. So we need association, this change, and through that we can change our consciousness. This change is indicated in Bhagavad Gita when Krishna tells Arjuna of the knowledge of yoga, whereby one can work without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act by such intelligence, You can free yourself from the bondage of works. So the change is consciousness is essentially what? That it's not that we stop working. It is that we work, but we are not attached to the results. Without fruitive results is something, whatever, I mean, okay, Bhagavad Gita 2.39. A human being is sometimes restricted in sense gratification due to certain circumstances, such as disease, etc. But this is not prescription. Without knowing the actual process by which the mind and senses can be controlled, less intelligent men either try to stop the mind and senses by force, or they give in to them and are carried away by the waves of sense gratification. So this is bhoga and tyaga. At either sense gratification we can't control, we just allow the senses to enjoy, or we try to renounce the, we give it up. But that is not required. Um, this is not actually the prescription. That means the, so like for example, when you have a disease, maybe the doctor will say to stop eating all normal food. But then that is not a permanent thing. Okay, because of that, the disease is not increased. Disease comes to a stop. But then we want to have positive engagements. I mean, we want to eat. And so the when the disease is cured, then the doctor says, okay, now you can eat. So similarly, what actually is our problem is not the activity itself, or we are living in society, or the family life, or the work. That is not the problem. The problem is, that we are we have no love for Krishna, and because of that, we do everything for ourselves, and then we realize it's not good. Then okay, I'll stop. Okay, when I'm there in this material world, I cannot function, so I'll go away from this material world. I will renounce. And higher than that is use everything in the service of Krishna. For that, you have to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead and have a relationship with Him. Then the soul automatically wants to do everything for Krishna's satisfaction. It's very natural. It's because of love. Only if you love someone will you do everything for that person. See, that is why only in our Vedic, this thing, um, our Sanatan Dharma, because we know the Supreme Person and that we have a relationship with Him, and how in Bhakti Yoga we can use everything in His service. So, that is a path that everybody can follow. There are some religions where they don't have any knowledge of God, but the soul is still wanting to progress. And what does that religion advocate? Like, for example, Jainism. They don't know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all that. They have got all the Tirthankaras who have all been ascetics doing tapasya. And so, but one thing in Jainism is anybody can renounce this world and go and do tapasya. It can be a man or a woman or a child or anybody. That way, they are quite equal to women also. They don't say, no, no, only women. Women cannot go, only men are allowed to do tapasyam. Women also, suddenly they can go away. And that means, real lot of austerities. And they become completely civilly disconnected from society. They live very, very humble, simple lives, doing seva to the society. They have that, but they have to do only that. If you want to advance in spiritual life, you have to give up everything and go away. So that is why, I mean, it's very, that's why, of course, not the entire people cannot follow that, but they follow some tenets of Jainism, like they are vegetarian and they don't have onion, garlic, and their habits and their work, the cow protection and seva, donations for human welfare, like that. They do something. So they make a progress. But because they don't have the Supreme Personality of Godhead knowledge of Him. They don't know how to utilize everything in the service of Krishna. That's why Jains, they'll give donation for everything else. That is Manav Seva, they'll give. You ask for Madhav Seva, hardly anybody gives. They will not give for Krishna consciousness, temples. No, they will, or their own temples they may give, but no, I mean, those are very few. But if you ask them, why don't you give Krishna, for our preaching, they'll not give because they don't believe in God. They know, but they are impersonalists basically. They are spiritualists, but impersonal. But it's very laudable. There's recently 2 days back one businessman's wife and daughter both renounced this world, and in their community they take them out, before they actually go away. They celebrate it. They go in a big group, like a procession. They keep them in a very decorated car, and everybody is glorifying and celebrating at the occasion. So that it shows that they are very dedicated to spiritual culture. And in Hinduism, if somebody even just goes to the temple, they'll cry, "Oh, he's become a sannyasi. He's not coming and eating meat nowadays. Oh, he's not eating onion, garlic." Look at our low consciousness. Simply because he stopped eating onion and garlic and he's become a vegetarian and he's chanting Hare Krishna mantra, even just staying at home also, not that he has renounced everything and joined the temple. That also you can feel very happy and proud, no? That, okay, leave that. Even if you're just, somebody has just started worshipping the Lord in a very systematic, serious way, will sit and cry. I mean, Hindus, "Oh, my child, not at all going and, enjoying oneself, not eating meat." This is our consciousness. So the regulative principles and the rules of yoga, the various sitting postures and breathing exercises performed in an attempt to withdraw one's senses from the sense objects are methods meant for those who are too much engrossed in the bodily conception of life. The intelligent man who is situated in Krishna consciousness does not try to forcibly stop his senses from acting. Rather, he engages his senses in the service of Krishna. No one can stop a child from playing by leaving him inactive. A child can be stopped from engaging in nonsense by being engaged in superior activities. The forceful restraint of sense activities by the 8 principles of yoga is recommended for inferior men who are not able to control the sense activities. So they stop everything and go to a lonely place, a holy place where nobody is there and no activity. Being engaged in the superior activities of Krishna consciousness, superior men naturally retire from the inferior activities of material existence. That's what we've got, a very positive way of coming out of Maya. How? By wanting to serve Krishna, engaging everything, include Krishna in everything. And that's why our chanting, if you want to get out of the mind's clutches of always pushing some thought in the mind, while you're chanting, mind is very, very active. She's trying to pull us, really like a vacuum cleaner only. She tries to pull us. And at that time, we should we should chant, wanting to serve Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. And that is what is the nectar, and which will pull us out of her clutches, which she's offering us some inferior pleasures. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But I've got a superior pleasure. I want to serve Krishna. And that way we can engage us. I mean, we can be here. It doesn't matter. Consciousness is the most important thing. That is even superior is saying. Simply renouncing and going away is inferior because you don't see the connection between the material world and Krishna. So you have to leave everything and go and try to meditate on the Lord. But a superior in the sense of more realization, more knowledge is. Krishna is everywhere. Everything is connected to Krishna. He is the proprietor, he is the supreme controller, and Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. He is the Bhokta, he is the enjoyer, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, all my work, he is supposed to enjoy the fruits. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, and he is the controller and the owner of everything. And then what am I left high and dry? I don't have anything, only he is the enjoyer, he is the proprietor. Then what will I do? Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is our most well wishing friend. So then what's the problem? Only that we have to do according to the way he wants. And he is not like a material dictator who's very selfish and egoistic, and he's very loving. So we have to love Krishna, and then no problem, because Krishna loves us anyway. And there is a wonderful exchange. And so we can, even in the material world, no problem. Nanda Maharaj and all that, he had all lot of cows. They thought that they are in Maya. I mean, because they thought they're very ordinary people, because we are all cowherd men. We are grazing cows. We don't have much spiritual knowledge. I mean, in the sense that we're not temple priests or pandits or anything. We're just ordinary people, just grazing cows and coming back. This is what they thought. But because of their love for Krishna, they were not, I mean, we know that, I mean, devotee will know that they are topmost transcendentalists, topmost yogis. Maya didn't even touch them. Krishna was trying to serve them. So that is the wonderful knowledge that Krishna has given us in the Bhagavad Gita, and he tells us, think about me, worship me, and discuss about me. And in this way, Lord Chaitanya teaches the science of Krishna consciousness. That science is absolute. Dry mental speculators try to restrain themselves from material attachment, but it is generally found that the mind is too strong to be controlled and that it drags them down to sensual activities. A person in Krishna consciousness does not run this risk. One has to engage his mind and senses in Krishna conscious activities, and Lord Chaitanya teaches one how to do this in practice. Before accepting sannyasa, the renounced order, Lord Chaitanya was known as Vishwambara. The word Vishwambara refers to one who maintains the entire universe and who leads all living entities. This maintainer and leader appeared as Lord Krishna Chaitanya to give humanity these sublime teachings. Lord Chaitanya is the ideal teacher of life's prime necessities. He is the most munificent bestower of love of Krishna. He is the complete reservoir of all mercies and good fortune, as confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, and the Upanishads. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. There is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an avatar of Krishna. He is Krishna. He is the Paramatma in our hearts. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Paramatma in our hearts. He is in every atom, just like Krishna is. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Paramatma in everybody's hearts. And he is the creator, he is the controller, everything. He is worshipable by everyone in this age of disagreement. Everyone can join in a Sankirtana movement. No previous qualification is necessary. Just by following his teachings, anyone can become a perfect human being. If one is fortunate enough to be attracted by his features, one is sure to be successful in one's life's mission. In other words, those who are interested in attaining spiritual existence can be easily relieved from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. These teachings presented in this book are non-different from the Lord. Being engrossed in the material body, the conditioned soul increases the pages of history of all kinds of material activities. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya can help human society stop such unnecessary and temporary activities. By these teachings, humanity can be elevated to the topmost platform of spiritual activity. These spiritual activities actually begin after liberation from material bondage. So we don't, when we become liberated, it's not that, oh, I have to sit like a Babaji and still simply meditate. Actual activities begin, spiritual activities. The soul is very, very active, except that the method of action changes. You don't have to go and work hard with your body because you already know I'm not this body. Then why you have to engage, do hard labor using the body? You just desire and you meditate, and through that everything happens. Krishna himself does like that, right? He just thinks, let there be this, and then it manifests. So that is spiritual existence. Material existence is we have forgotten our spiritual identity. I think I'm this body, and so everything is very gross, and we have to engage ourselves with the body, then only things will function. That is material bondage. And these spiritual activities actually begin after liberation from material bondage. Such liberated activities in Krishna consciousness constitute the goal of human perfection. The false prestige one acquires by attempting to dominate material nature is illusory. Illuminating knowledge can be acquired from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and by such knowledge, one can advance in spiritual existence. So, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it so very sweet and simple that common man can do that, and not simply Varnashrama is also like that. Common man practices, gradually progresses, how many lifetimes one has to take. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made the essence of all the scriptures, made it so easily available for us to practice that we can advance in spiritual existence. Everyone has to suffer or enjoy the fruits of his activity. No one can check the laws of material nature which govern such things. As long as one is engaged in fruitive activity, he is sure to be baffled in an attempt to attain the ultimate goal of life. I sincerely hope that by understanding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, human society will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. Om Tat Sat, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, March 14th, 1968. Birthday of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Sri Radhakrishna Temple, New York. Um, so karma, going beyond karma, because we are working also as karma with some interest for ourselves. And so we keep on getting baffled. The ultimate goal of life, love for Krishna, is lost. If you are just calculating, I'll do this so that I'll get that, you'll not get love for Krishna. Love for Krishna comes when we leave everything to Krishna. You only are everything. Whatever you want, you tell me, I'll do it. Finished. No meditating on, oh, what will I get? And then, how will I enjoy myself? Everything is left to Krishna. So, Rishikesha, he controls the devotee. It's not that, oh, then I have to be like a mendicant only. Mendicant in heart. But externally, Krishna wants his devotees to live nicely. He provides everything. The only thing we renounce is a feeling of independence from him and wanting to enjoy through our senses. We can enjoy through our spirit soul, right? Suppose Krishna is providing lots of nice vegetables, fruits, so many things. We can offer it to Krishna and enjoy the prasadam. We are secondary enjoyers. We are also enjoyers, but we enjoy the remnants, or rather, we give enjoyment to Krishna, and then the servants also enjoy, right? Servants of a palace. King enjoys. They're working for the king's enjoyment. They also enjoy. Only thing is, they can never become the king. So we can never become God. That enjoyment is only Krishna's. So as long as we don't envy that, I don't know. We give hope against hope. So many lifetimes we were hoping that I'll become the greatest and the like God. So that is our, now we stop. Forget that I'm independent, I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer. It's not possible. We have tried and we have suffered and been kicked by Maya enough. Now we have to come to our realization. Okay, let me adopt the process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given, which is to love Krishna and make our heart very simple. Sarala Kariyo Man. What is that song? Um, make your heart very simple, no complications. Just, I want to be servant. If you have lot of material desires, then we become very complicated and we become very crooked. How to, circumvent this and that and pretend, and we try many, many ways. But if we are very simple and straightforward, that's it. Yes, I surrender to you, Krishna. Whatever that, no anxiety. Whatever you want, you give. That's okay with me. I just want to think about serving you to your satisfaction. That's immediately peace of mind, isn't it? It's thinking about the results which make us so disturbed. Will it come? Will it not come? Will it happen like the way I want or not? Why worry? Just leave it. Krishna, you are the enjoyer and you can do whatever you want with me, and I'm simply a puppet in your hands. Now, it's very easily said than done. We have to really, we are, like the puppets who the puppeteer is pulling the strings and we pull back. No, no, I will not dance like that. I will pull back. So the puppeteer is not able to do a nice dance with us. But if you surrender like Prabhupada, in your hands, Krishna, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance any way you want. And he really was like that. So we got a beautiful puppet show. So we have to try and become that. Rishikesha. Rishikena Sevanam Bhaktir Uttamam. He is the controller of our senses, and we have to serve that Rishikesh. And then our life will be perfect. No need to take sannyas and go away. Sannyas is in the heart of loving Krishna. That is sannyas. If you want to love Krishna, means what? You are thinking of Krishna's happiness, not mine. So that is sannyas. You don't have to wear orange colored dress and go away somewhere, leave everyone behind. In the third chapter also, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, no need. Arjuna says, okay, I'll give up. You don't want me. I don't want to kill all these people. So I don't want the results. I'll go away and I'll sit in the forest. And but Krishna said that you'll go there, you're still not purified. You'll still be thinking of sense gratification. More important is to renounce the fruits of an activity. It's better to you fight, but don't be attached to the results of the war. That's what you have to do. This is all that we are trying to learn by chanting Hare Krishna mantra. We don't give up the activity itself. We give up only the desire to enjoy the results and how peaceful and blissful will be. No more problems at all. Whatever Krishna wants, let him do. I don't care. I love him and I'm happy every moment. This is what people who don't have Krishna consciousness are also trying to figure out, how to be peaceful without stress. And so people have come up with mindfulness. That means you just do your work. Everything is got from Vedas only, but also Buddhism talks about that. That's also Krishna talks about just think about now what you're doing. Do mindfully, enjoy it. Right now I'm eating, then think about the food, not keep this thing, mobile next to us or some book and we are reading or we're talking or we're thinking about something else, making plans, or we're on the phone call talking to people and eating. That is not mindfulness. Then what happens? That's why we are uncontrolled and so much stress. Was always meditating on something, what I'm going to get, all plans we're making. All the time the mind is busy, busy, busy thinking of something else. When you have a lot of things to be happy about, right now, what are you doing? Think about that. Now, past is gone. Now, at least enjoy. The present is all we have. And the present, you enjoy yourself. I mean, enjoy meaning in the proper, of course, Krishna consciousness doesn't mean, okay, I'll just enjoy, I'll keep drinking and I'll do all that, then forget about past or future. No, not that kind of forgetting. It means that in a conscious way, in a Krishna conscious way, then only we are, okay, now I'm honoring Krishna Prasadam. Oh, so wonderful. So we become more conscious of everything. Oh, see this prasadam, what is it made of? And what is the, you know, what is the taste I'm tasting? Am I tasting Krishna in this prasadam? Or simply I'm eating whatever, I like this dish, so I'm eating it? Or am I also, more conscious about the fact that Krishna has eaten it? So like that, we can become mindful, or we can become mindful in our relationships with people. Now nobody wants to talk or anything. I'm very busy. What busy? They're all the time watching WhatsApp and uh, things, and that they're not busy. I mean, for that they have all the time. But the minute you want to talk something to them, I'm very, very busy. So nobody has time to talk to anyone. So we can become mindful, no? You can not be all the time so stressed and busy. You can sit and talk and listen to people. How many people really listen to others? Always, even when some is conversation means somebody is talking and you're already planning in your mind how I'm going to respond to that other person. That is not conversation. Listen first what they're saying. Then afterwards, it will automatically response will come. So that is mindfulness they're teaching, so that you don't always carry this baggage of future big plans. Be happy with small things, what you're going through day to day life. There's so much to be happy about. And then we lose all that. We're not grateful for things that Krishna is providing us with. Are we thinking, oh, today Krishna really such a nice way, I whatever, so many things, my work went well, I was able to do that. And we think about it, about people. We are sensitive about what people are saying, and we're thinking more deeply, not superficial. People are so superficial today. Hi, bye, or just people only think, I can be anything. I can be even stabbing them in the back, doing something against them. But when I see them, I'm going to be saying the right things. Wow, very nice. How are you? And all that. And people fall for that. They only want such external shows. They are not, because it's so superficial. Simply saying words, they think I can, just like how Congress is doing now, they won't do one stitch of work for society. Just during election time, they'll say, oh, I love you so much. You know what, this, that, and I will give you all freebies, and you just vote for me. And stupid people will fall for that. Whereas, because they are also, people have become also stupid. They only go by external things. Somebody who comes and tells some very, very syrupy words, and then you believe them. You know something, I'm this, I'm that, you're this, I'm that, all that, and then I give you some money. What is that money? 1,500 rupees or maximum 5,000. What you're going to do? How long it will last? For that sake, you're going to put one idiot on this thing. And that is how people are so superficial, simply go by externals, superficial talk. So we want to, then how can we have deep exchanges, deep relationships, which are based on understanding and trust? No, no. So because things are so superficial, nobody trusts anyone. No one has any close friends anymore. Simply they go and then we all dance together. We went out for a picnic together, and the picnic we're busy taking selfies. This is the exchanges. So superficial. So they're saying become mindful. Then you'll enjoy that. You'll find that there is something, and don't keep judging all the time. When you're talking with people, allow them their space. They can have their own opinions. It doesn't matter. Even within a family, different people have different opinions. Let them have. Why try to chop and change people? Accept them. Don't make see all these things they're teaching to be mindful, so that you are de-stress yourself. All that is already part of Krishna consciousness. By being a servant of Krishna, we're very happy. We don't try to unnecessarily, get disturbed about, oh, I mean, we accept, we know everything is happening by the three modes of material nature. That is what is acting on either tamoguna, this thing. So we try to help people by coming to sattva guna. Okay, no problem, come, join us for a kirtan, uh, give them some prasadam and make them, so that, by raising the modes, automatically people will change their behavior. You're addicted to drinks, no problem. Just come with us. And after some time, we'll see that they don't have any interest in drinks. How did that happen? Miracle. Everyone is surprised in their family. Because the modes were shifted. Then automatically the taste went away, right? Someone might have enjoyed eating meat. And then we just shifted the modes by saying, get up in the morning, chant, and then no more taste for all inferior things. That's how we are able to give up four illicit activities, right? Very difficult in this modern times. You go tell people, they'll say, are you crazy? I cannot do all that. But we're able to do that because modes have shifted from tamoguna to rajoguna to sattva-guna. Then you can change everyone. I mean, we can change ourselves, first of all. Finer and finer sattva-guna. As we go deeper, then we'll lose all taste for all these inferior things. Why should I? Then we can understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he's saying. So nice to love Krishna. That is the source of all good fortune for us. That's why he very confidently says golden age will come. But we have to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, follow his instructions, and very, very simple instructions, but very, very sublime. And we follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, definitely our life is going to be very, very successful, and the golden age is coming. It's already started. We have to become a little more serious and follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, okay, today we started on a Ekadashi day, very nice, good beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we just finished preface. But it was worth it, isn't it? Prabhupada has written about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and its relevance, his teachings for us. Okay, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments?
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Dhanvat Pranam.
I have one this thing. Here, I mean, Prabhupada is saying in this thing, said that, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, okay, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam where we hear this Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishna. But where is it in Bhagavad Gita? Where do we find that he is confirmed as Supreme Personality of Godhead? Okay, Mahabharata we hear is that one sloka where Bhisma Suvarna Varna Hemanga, right? I mean, that's one sloka. Is it correct, Mataji? My understanding?
Yes, in the Vishnu Sahasranama.
But that is there is also controversy on the second stanza of that Suvarna Varna Hemango, where they say that the second line is not found in the Vishnu Sahasranama. From elsewhere it is added in that. Something like that. But in Bhagavad Gita, most importantly, where do we find that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Supreme Personality Godhead prediction?
See, Bhagavad Gita is just elementary, just to how to surrender to Krishna, who you're the soul, you're not the body, and you have to work without a fruit of attachments, different process of yoga, very, very basic. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very exalted knowledge, so it doesn't come in Bhagavad Gita. But in Bhagavatam, we are getting that 2 times, right? Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam, and no, only once. Yeah. So in the Bhagavatam, and then so many Upanishads and all that, 50, more than 50, quotations are there. So many Puranas are all saying that Chaitanya is the Supreme Lord, that Krishna will appear as Chaitanya. All those quotations are there. After reading that, you'll have no doubt at all. It is Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, I agree. Purana, when Upanishads, there are a lot of places, but I mean, some little, scriptures we quote also. There is little saying that, and I was talking about that Suvarna Varna Hemango. There is, I'm not able to recollect it now, but there is a little controversy about the second stanza. What we say and what is there actually in Vishnu Sahasranama is different.
Suvarna, okay, what is the in a Vishnu Sahasranam, then Suvarna Varna Hemango Varanangadas. What is that?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, they give a meaning, different meaning, Mataji. Actually, the Vishnu
But
Sahasranam
anyway,
and the
what about the third and the fourth? What is the second line? What does it say?
Suvarna Varno Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi.
Sannyasa Samashanto
Sannyasa.
Nishta Parayana. You heard, Mataji?
It is the same only, because Prabhu used to recite Vishnu Sahasranamam before, and he says it's the same as what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said. No difference.
I'll check it, Mother. I'm not able to recollect it because this
Okay.
is there is slightly different. The last two line stanzas are different. Let me this thing. And even when we quote extensively about Chaitanya Upanishads, which is a part of Atharva Veda, which generally, I mean, they say that this part does not exist in the Atharva Veda. You know, I mean,
Not just Atharva Veda, so many Upanishads, and not only that, comes in Puranas also. Narasimha Purana. Okay, tomorrow we will take up all the, not tomorrow, on next this thing, Thursday.
Mataji, Narasimha Purana, Bharatam, Skanda Purana, Vamana Purana, Shiva Purana, Devi Purana, Purna Purana, Garuda Purana, Padma Purana, Brahma Purana. All these Puranas are, it is mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance in Kali Yuga.
And it's very clear. The one who appeared as Rama, who appeared as this thing, is only appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, Narasimha Purana is mentioned. Very, very clear. No ambiguity. And more than anything, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed, I am Radha and Krishna. And he showed how all avatars come from him. He showed he is only Narasimha. He showed he is only Varaha. So, that is, I mean, he himself is saying, I am that same Krishna. So there is no doubt.
No, question is, yes, it is mentioned in so many Puranas. We're not talking this thing, Mataji. We're only saying certain part of this because we hear, I mean, very extensively about, about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's place and mother's, father's name, which is extensively mentioned in Chaitanya Upanishad of Atharva Veda. But for some reasons, some of these people say, when you have some kind of discussion with people who are knowledgeable and all, they simply say that this part of Chaitanya Upanishad does not exist in Atharva Veda.
Okay, let them say whatever they want. We have, okay, you forget about that Chaitanya Upanishad. What about all the other Puranas? Simply these people, these scholarly types, they don't like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he's talking about love and all that. They don't like all that. And that surrender, become as humble, all that they don't like. So simply, like that's how, impersonalists, they were also criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kashi. They were saying, now, oh, he's just sentimentally singing and dancing. He should be studying Vedanta Sutra. So they simply want to find some fault. But anyway, I'll go through that, what it says. If anybody can find some this thing, we will discuss it so that you can shut their mouths also. See, there are always some people who don't like, and they'll try to argue like this, especially this impersonalists and speculators. They don't like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they'll come up with that. They openly criticized him, this Prakashan and the Saraswati and all that. That's why the devotees felt so bad. And they invited him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to their house so that they'll meet. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in one sitting only, he converted them. Yeah, they just surrendered and accepted him as the Guru. So it is only lack of knowledge which is making them say all these things. Okay, anyway, we will see. What is that Chaitanya
Actually,
Upanishad?
I also used to have this doubt, Mataji. Whenever we tell that Sai Baba is not like incarnation, everyone who tells that I am incarnation of Krishna, we try to tell them that Bhagavatam reference, na, if it is there in the Bhagavatam only, we have to believe like that, Mataji. So, how to argue with that kind of people?
Oh,
Yes, Mataji.
Sai Baba.
Other incarnations also who tell that I am Vishnu, like that we tell, na, Mataji. They tell like that.
Acha,
So we
those
try.
fraud, fake
Ha,
avatars.
yeah, yes, ma'am. We try to tell that if it is in Srimad Bhagavatam only, believe like that we tell, no, Mataji.
No, first of all, how do they look? Okay, ask them to show the Vishwarupa. Or how does he look? And he died now and he gets diseases and all that. Then how that can be God? And another one, Kalki Avatar, was doing the very popular and all that. Then I don't know, he went to jail, I think, because he did some financial fraud, isn't it? Now we don't hear of Kalki Avatar at all. And all that fraud, Sai Baba, that other one, not this Shirdi, the other Satya Sai Baba. I mean, he was sick and all that, and then people came out with all his internal stories. So how he can be God? We can prove. Just because he does a little magic doesn't mean that he is God. Look at Krishna, how he looks, how sweet and always young like that. And your God is aging and is not exactly very beautiful. So I see that's what to do. Some people will not change. They'll keep on insisting. Everyone we cannot, some people we have to leave. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could convert even Mayavadis into devotees simply by his charm. Only because of his charm, and then they asked him questions. Otherwise, they were all really die-hard impersonalists and they were criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like anything. But when they saw him and his humility and his sweetness, then they were bowled over. And then they started asking very humbly questions. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a reply for everything. And somehow by his mercy, their hearts converted. Not on their own, they would never have. So we need Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. If you want to tell anyone anything and they have to change, they have to pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You only can convert their hearts. And we give them prasadam. And Prabhupada, whenever he was having conversations with someone and they kept on talking some nonsense, they wouldn't listen. Then Prabhupada will look at the disciples, take him for prasadam, give him prasadam. So that guest will think, oh, he's honoring me. Of course, Prabhupada was honoring, but then why he said that at that moment is no use talking to this person. Give him prasadam. So we have to give only prasadam for such people. Anyway, good point that you raised, and we want to plug all the holes now. We should be armed with everything. Whoever says what, it's good you brought it up. So definitely we'll see what it is. The Chaitanya Upanishad and about the Vishnu Sahasranama. Definitely. Okay. Then we go for prayers for His Holiness Jayapataka Swami for his complete recovery and good health, protection from all diseases and speedy recovery from his illnesses, and also protection for all his servants who are taking care of him. Let us chant 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. And then we pray for all Prabhupada disciples for their good health.